My name is Tom Godfrey, and this is a free course covering my Melody Guitar Book 1. All these videos are free, and I'm also offering Melody Guitar Book 1 as a free download, so I'll put a link in the description. This book is for brand new guitar players looking for a place to get started, and it's also for more experienced players who've learned to play by ear, but would also like to know how to read standard music notation. Starting with this book, my Melody Guitar series focuses on learning how to read and play melodies in standard music notation. Melody Guitar 1 starts you off with some music reading basics and shows you notes on the first 3 strings, and by the time you're done with Melody Guitar Book 4, you'll be reading and playing melodies all over the neck. I want to be clear right from the start that this is not the only book you should be studying. This series focuses on playing melodies and reading standard music notation, but you should also learn chords, strumming, and fingerstyle patterns, and I've got another series of books for that. The melody is the part of a song you would sing, and the chords are the notes that support it. So if you're playing chords, you're playing multiple notes. And if you're playing or singing a melody, it's going to be one note at a time. Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. So right there, I was singing the melody and playing the chords. Now if I play the notes I was singing, then I'm playing the melody. I've also written a series of rhythm guitar books that focus on chords, strumming, and fingerstyle patterns. You can learn from the melody books or the rhythm guitar books, but if you're just starting out, I recommend learning from both at the same time. We're going to get into playing in the next video, but first we're going to look at pages 3 and 6, and we're going to go over some basics, and I mean very basics. We're talking about how to hold the guitar, how to hold the pick, string names, and so forth. Even if you've already been playing for a while, it wouldn't hurt to watch the rest of this video, or at least read pages 3 to 6, just to make sure you haven't missed anything. There's a picture at the top of page 3 showing different parts of the guitar, and you can read that for yourself. More importantly, at the bottom of page 3, we can see how strings and frets are labeled. Our strings are numbered from the smallest to the biggest, so string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We also label strings by the notes you play when there's no finger down. In other words, when it's an open string. And this is going to be from 6th string to 1st string. It's E, A, D, G, B, E. And a really good way to memorize that is Ed, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Ed. Your first assignment is to memorize these string numbers and names. The numbers are easy as long as you remember to count from the smallest to the biggest. And you can remember those letter names by this little saying, Ed, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Ed. The metal bars going up and down the neck of your guitar are called frets, and we label the frets from the end of the guitar. So this is 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, and so forth. At the top of page 4, I touch on holding the guitar. Now, classical guitarists are very strict about how they hold the guitar, while non-classical guitarists such as myself are not quite as strict. But the main thing is that you find a comfortable playing position for your hands and for your body. This means holding your guitar straight up and down and not flat. It's tempting to hold the guitar flat because you can see your fingers better. However, this puts your wrist in a really awkward position and it could actually damage your wrist over time. Now, some guitar players will hold their guitar parallel to the floor, while others, like myself, like to have more of an angle. You can also experiment with putting your guitar on one knee or the other. You could also put your left foot on a footrest and then rest your guitar on top of your leg. And also, I like to use a strap, whether I'm sitting or standing. Just for me, it helps put my guitar in just the right position. You want your left hand to be as relaxed as possible, and to find a good basic playing position, form the letter C with your left hand, and then turn it over and That's your playing position. And notice that all my fingers are in front, my thumb is behind. Now, classical guitar players don't want your thumb poking over, but if your thumb pokes over a little bit, that's okay. You definitely do not want your thumb underneath or even in front of the fretboard. And your thumb performs a very important function. Not only will you be placing your fingers on the frets to play notes, you're going to be pushing on the other side with your thumb. Adding your thumb into the mix gives you more power than just pressing down with your fingers. Speaking of left hand, let's talk about your left hand labels and finger placement. So your fingers are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and then T for thumb. And when I say to place fingers on a fret, I don't actually mean to place them directly on a fret. What you want to do is place it just to the left of a fret. So it's still touching, but it's not directly above it. And I'll show you why. If you play with a finger right on the fret, you get kind of a clunky sound. If you place it too far away from the fret, you get that buzzy sound. If you nestle it against the fret but not on it, you get a nice clean sound. I'm going to be playing with a pick throughout all of these melody guitar videos. Now, I play a lot of fingerstyle, but when I'm playing single note melodies, I like to use a pick. Now, holding a pick, it's not rocket science. I like to hold the pick between my thumb and my first finger, not my second finger, but my thumb and my first finger. And I like to grip the pick so I'm holding at least half of it. I'm covering at least half of it with my thumb. If I hold toward the back edge of the pick, there's a much greater chance that I'm going to drop it. I've already put out a video on tuning your guitar. It's one of my earlier videos, so it doesn't look the best, but it gets the job done, so I will leave a link in the description. It's very, very important that you tune your guitar every day. Your guitar can go out of tune throughout the day, so the more often you tune it, the better. You can tune with an app like Guitar Tuna or Fender Tune, or you can use a clip-on tuner. I personally find that the apps are easier to use for beginners, but the clip-on tuners tend to be more accurate, but use whichever is best for you. If you want good results, you're going to have to practice consistently. I practice every day, a minimum of 2 hours, usually it's 3 to 4. Now, as a beginner, you're not going to be able to do that. Your fingertips are going to be too sore, but you'll get plenty of results with just 15 minutes a day, or better yet, 10 to 15 minutes in the morning and another 10 to 15 minutes in the evening. And your practice sessions will grow longer as you grow as a player. Repetition is very important in practicing. As a beginner, there's no way that your assignment is going to fill 15 minutes worth of playing. What you're supposed to do is take each exercise, play it several times. One way you could practice these exercises is to see how many times in a row you could play it perfectly. Or you could take another exercise, start very slowly, then play it again a little faster, play it again a little faster. And what you're doing with all this repetition is training your muscle memory. Welcome once again to Melody Guitar Book 1. Memorize those string names and numbers, and don't forget to check out my rhythm guitar books for chords and strumming patterns. And I'll see you on page 7, where you're going to learn your first 3 notes and some music reading basics.